Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. Happy Sunday. Today is Sunday. Super weird that I'm uploading on a Sunday, but whatever, here we are. Welcome to vlogmas episode 3, and today we have a very exciting video. I don't know why I hadn't thought about this topic, this video idea before, but you guys, it's the perfect moment. 2021 is ending and I have a lot of favorite authors. I'm going to share 10 of my favorite authors of this year. I do want to say that obviously I started reading this year, so although I've read a lot of different authors, these are the ones that stood out for me. If someone asked me what are my top favorite authors, or what authors should I look into, these are the ones. This is the video for you. So let's go ahead and get started. Remember to subscribe down below if you want to be part of Vlogmas, and turn on the notification bell so you get notified when I upload more videos, because right now I don't have an uploading schedule, so that is going to be very useful, very helpful. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to rank every single author. So I'm going to go from the number 10 to number 1. So I'm going to start with number 10, and I quickly want to say that not because an author is number 10 is my least favorite author. No, these are all authors that I love with all my heart, but obviously when I get to number 3 to number 3 to 1, those are my ultimate favorite authors. So that is kind of why I'm ranking them, but not really. I like every single author that I'm going to mention today, just to make that clear. So at number 10 we have Tricia Levenseller, because this is the only fantasy book that I'm going to talk about today. I usually only read romance, although I sometimes really like reading fantasy books. So that's why I need to mention this author, because this is the daughter of the Pirate King duology, and this author, let me tell you, this her writing style is gonna get you hooked. These two books, you're gonna read the first one and then you're going to need to read the second one. And okay, so the first one is the daughter of the Pirate King, and then the second one is the daughter of the Siren Queen. So I literally read these books. Well, I read the first book in 3 days, and then I was like, oh my god, I need to order the second one right now. So I did, and when it arrived, I think I finished it in 2 days. And let me tell you, I loved these books so much. I'm a sucker for adventure, missions, mythical creatures. I'm all for it. Those are my favorite if we are talking about fantasy. Love that. And I do want to say that although I love the first book, my favorite from the series is the second book. If you like the movies, the Pirates of the Caribbean, you're gonna love these books. This also has a little bit of romance, although this is YA, so nothing nothing very spicy or anything. But it does have enemies to lovers, but it's a YA enemies to lovers, if you know what I mean. And I do really want to start reading more of Tricia Levenseller, because her writing style is chef's kiss, you guys. So good. 100% recommend this author. Okay, next author is a more recent author. This is a book that I read in November. So this author is Maise Sheridan, and I've only read Archer's Voice by her, but just with this book I can already tell that she's gonna be one of my favorite authors. Her writing style is beautiful, you guys. The definition of beautiful is this book. Her writing style is chef's kiss. I loved it, every single part of this book, and I obviously want to buy more books by Maise. I have no words for the writing style in this book. It's just so amazing. It's amazing, you guys. And I am sure that I'm going to love her other books. I feel like she writes really beautiful but heartbreaking stories, and I am sure that if you've read Maise Sheridan, you can relate to that. But nonetheless, her writing style is amazing, and I am so glad that I read this book, and I'm so glad that I found this author. So yeah, that is the other one. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so the next author is Tessa Bailey. So the first book that I read by Tessa Bailey was this one, It Happened One Summer, which this is gonna be I think a duology basically. So this is the first book and the other one is coming out next year. It's gonna be Hook, Line, and Sinker. It's about two sisters. So this is the first sister and the other one is the other book is for the other sister. So this was the first book that I read by Tessa Bailey, but I literally just finished her Christmas book, which is Window Shopping, and oh my god, you guys. Okay, first of all, if you're looking for an author that writes romance but like spicy romance, this is the author for you. Like, her writing style for spice is chef's kiss. I love it. I literally cannot wait to buy Hook, Line, and Sinker. I'm like for sure gonna buy that book. But yeah, if you're looking for a really good like romance book but with spice, but it's still kind of like cute, like the story is cute, the couple is cute, but the spice is just from another world. Let me compare it. It's not like Penelope Douglas kind of spice, because I feel like she writes a little bit more like a dark romance kind of spice, you know what I mean? But no, this author writes a lot of like cute romance books but with a lot of spice. So that is personally my favorite. I love that. So definitely a 10 out of 10, this author. Okay, next author is, I do really think that this is an underrated author, and if you haven't read anything by her, please go read anything by her, because okay, I'm gonna talk about Erin Sterling. This is the book that I read by her. This is the XX, and well, this is a book of the month pick if you're wondering about the cover. Oh my god, I was so surprised with this book. This is all about witches and like a girl that's a witch, and she kind of puts a curse in her boyfriend by accident. Well, her ex-boyfriend by accident. I kind of sensed that this book was only going to be like fantasy and like only like adventure and missions and like fantasy, but no, like this at the end, kind of at the end, has like spicy scenes that you did not see coming, and like the romance is on point. So I do really need to say that if you haven't read this book, please go do so. I was so shocked. I read this book literally in one sitting. So easy to read. Her writing style is also amazing. These are all authors that are easy like to read and understand, because if you're new here, English is my second language, so there are some books that I really just do not understand, like the writing style, so it's kind of hard for me, but all of these are like super easy to understand in my opinion. And yeah, Erin Sterling, this book left me shocked in a good way. She's amazing. Okay, the next author that I'm gonna talk about is Helen Hoang, and this is the book that I read by her. This is The Kiss Quotient, and this was also a book of the month pick if I remember correctly. So I found this author through Book Talk, because like a lot of Book Talk accounts were talking about this book, and I was very late to the trend. You guys know that I'm always freaking late to trends. But when I read this book, when I finally read this book, I was like, no freaking way. First, it's a romance, a kind of like strangers to lovers. It's just so different from other like romance books, and the story and the plot is so good, because okay, like this book does have a lot of like spice right off the bat, right from the beginning, but it kind of all blends with the story, and the story and the plot is so much more than the spice, so it makes it like 100 times better. And I don't know, just the writing style and how this author described the main character, which is Stella, just kind of like blew my mind. Her writing style is amazing. I haven't read the whole series yet, because this is a series. This is the first one, the second one is The Bright Test, and then the third one is The Heart Principle. Really, really recommend this author. Okay, so the next author, I think is a very like well-known author, very popular. This is Taylor Jenkins Reid, and we all know the book that I'm gonna mention. We all know it. Well, I've read like 3 books by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So this is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This is one of the books. I also read Daisy Jones and the Six and Malibu Rising. And I think like those are the 3 like most popular books by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I feel like Taylor Jenkins Reid has more of a mature writing style. So if you're someone who likes romance or likes fiction books, I really think that Taylor Jenkins Reid is gonna be for you. Yeah, it's kind of like her writing style is very mature in a very good way. I say this because it's very different from the other books that I read. I don't know, every time I sit down to read a book by Taylor Jenkins Reid, it kind of gives me that vibe, you know? I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I hope you can understand what I'm saying. Some of her books are like written in third person kind of narratives, which is not my favorite. You guys know that I prefer like the characters' point of views. I think it's just because it's more like it's easier to read and like to understand. Sometimes I read like narratives, third person books, and I just get lost. I honestly get lost. So I do want to say that Malibu Rising was a little bit hard for me to like connect and understand. Like I think after a few pages I kind of got the hang of it. Yeah, at the beginning I was kind of like, what is happening? But that didn't happen with The Seven Husbands. This was very easy to read. And Daisy Jones and the Six, so easy to understand, to read. Love the story of those three books. I think my favorite is probably Daisy Jones and the Six. She is such a great author. Okay, so in number 4 we have Christina Lauren, which are 2 authors. This is so funny because for a while when I started reading these authors, I had no idea that Christina Lauren actually is kind of like a stage name, and it stands for the 2 authors because Christina's an author and then Lauren is another author. So it was kind of honestly embarrassing. Like, it was embarrassing. I did not know that, and when I found out, I was like, oh my god, I've been saying it all wrong. They are amazing. Their writing style is amazing. So I think my favorite book by these authors is Love and Other Words. Like, this was the first book for my book club. If you don't know, I have a book club. If you want to enter, the link is down in the description. It's free. It's awesome. We're reading right now One Day in December for Christmas, just so you know. But this book was the first book, and like, we loved it so much. I feel like everyone or liked it or loved it. The writing style in this book is my ultimate favorite. So this is told in an alternating timeline between then and now. So the main 2 characters are Elliot and Maise. So teenage Elliot and Maise grow from friends to much more, spending weekends and lazy summers together in a house outside of San Francisco, devouring books, sharing favorite words, and talking through their growing pains and triumphs. So that's kind of like the then perspective. It tells a story of kind of how they grew up, childhood best friends, and then it's the like present moment, and that's the now, and it kind of tells a story of Elliot and Maise when they are like grown up and why they kind of like drew apart. Like, it's honestly one of my favorite writing styles when a book has that then and now perspective. Is amazing. I love that, and these authors did an amazing job with this book. I just have to say that. Amazing job. I still need to read a bunch of other books by these authors. I have Josh and Hazel's Guide Not to Dating, something like that, and I have a Christmas book that I'm going to read this month in holidays. So I think those are the 2 other books that I have by these authors. But you guys, so good. Top 3, you guys. We're here. Top 3. Okay. In 3rd place, well, not 3rd place, you know what I mean. I have 2 favorite series now. This was my first ever favorite book series. This is by Helen Hoang. If you don't know who she is, she has a TikTok and Instagram. She's so funny, and I love her TikToks and everything. And she has a book series, the Twisted series. It's a series of 4 books, but there are only 2 published. She's gonna publish the other 2 books next year, but Twisted Love and Twisted Games, you guys. Okay, so first of all, these are the special edition covers. These are my favorite. I'm so glad that she published these covers because the other covers are not my favorite, I have to say. So the first book is Twisted Love. This is a grumpy sunshine, brother's best friend, neighbors. Plot twist, you guys. This author did an amazing job add the plot twist. Like, I can imagine that writing a book that has a plot twist is not easy. Like, you need to like build that up, and this author did an amazing job with all the plot twists, because I feel like there were like 3 different plot twists and I was like, what is happening? I was so shocked. And it is a romance book, but I feel like Twisted Love is more of centered to the story rather than the romance or the couple. So just so you know. But then Twisted Games, which is the second book. You guys, this is my favorite book so far. Let's see if the other 2 can make it to my favorite, but this is my favorite so far. Twisted Games is about the best friend of the main character in this book. So this book is about Bridget and her bodyguard, because Bridget is a freaking princess from another country, and like she basically has bodyguards, and this is a bodyguard romance. Bodyguard romance, forced proximity, slow burn, and like forbidden love. Obviously princess with a bodyguard. If you want a book that focuses on the kind of like romance, spice, and a bit into the story, this is gonna be perfect, because I feel like this one does not like, I don't know, that's how I felt it, because everyone's different, I don't know, but I feel like this one is more centered to like the couple and the forbidden love kind of thing, and that is perfect. It was perfect, you guys. Perfect. Loved every single second of that book. So definitely this author is an underrated author. If you haven't read these books, please, what are you doing? Go read them, please, for me. Go read them, tell me all about it, DM me. We can talk about it, because this author, you guys. Okay, the runner-up goes to a recent author. Well, 2 recent books that I read, and I had never read any book by this author. And this is the runner-up in like favorite series. This author is Maise. So I also think that this is a very, very underrated author. She writes romance, and she writes romance, spicy romance, but kind of like it kind of reminds me of Tessa Bailey. Like, they have spice, they have romance, but they kind of connected very well. So the books that I read by her, I have 3 books by this author, but I read the series. This is To Love Jason Thorne. This is the first book in the series, and then To Hate Adam Connor. So the first book, which is this one, is a kind of like childhood friends to lovers, brother's best friend, but it also kind of is a then and now perspective. I loved the story and the plot, and kind of like the whole concept of the story was really cute. Loved it, but definitely, you guys, this one was perfection. Amazing. If you want a good enemies to lovers romance, I'm just gonna tell you, this is the perfect enemies to lovers. This is my favorite enemies to lovers book I've ever read in my entire life. Oh my god, like the spice in this book is amazing. The story is so cute. The ending, I am kind of in love with this book, I'm not gonna lie. And you guys know, because I've mentioned this in other videos, that these are my favorite covers of all time. These 2 covers are my favorite covers. The person who designed these covers, you are a genius. Props to you, because these covers are so freaking beautiful. Okay, guys, can we all say it at the same time? Which author takes first place? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Colleen Hoover. What a surprise. If you followed me since, I don't know, forever, you know that my favorite author is Colleen Hoover, and she will still be my favorite author forever. I think literally forever. Every single time, I think literally every single time that someone has asked me like, what book should I read if I am starting to read books in English, or what are the easiest books to read if English is my second language, and the answer is always Colleen Hoover, you guys, because her writing style is just so flawless, just kind of feels effortless. But my favorite book by Colleen Hoover is Ugly Love, and this is a friends with benefits to lovers, brother's best friend. A huge plot twist, usual Colleen Hoover plot twist, you guys already know. But oh my god, like her writing style is amazing. Those are my favorite authors, you guys. It's been so fun to kind of like read different books by different authors and see what I like, see what I don't really like, and honestly just find these authors and find my top authors that I'm always going to buy from. If you haven't read books by any of these authors, please, you can start with these books. If you haven't read anything at all, you can start with these authors as well. So thank you to Book Talk, because a lot of these authors I found through Book Talk, so I love you guys so much. I hope you stay and subscribe. This is Vlogmas episode 3, so stay tuned for Tuesday, I think. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but let's see. I love you guys so much. I will see you Tuesday or in another video. Bye.
Oh, corks and bottles ready to pop out. Oh, no more crying. We are knocking out another year of new loves.